One of the best things about having a DVR rearview mirror with a rearview camera is not only does it record what's happening in front of you, but it also records what's happening behind you as well. This Yantop DVR mirror comes packed with some really cool features, such as parking monitoring. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a security feature that's designed to protect your car when you're away from it. And if you don't know how that works, then keep watching, because in today's video, I will be demonstrating to you not only that, but also how all the other main features of this DVR mirror work. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to the channel, and I hope you like today's video. If you like smart home and automotive technology content, then hit that subscribe button, because that's what you're going to see on this channel. This here is the Yantop E-ACE 12-inch car DVR Rearview Mirror Dash Cam with reversing camera. You may have heard of Yantop before. It is a well-known brand for car DVR rearview mirrors. And in today's video, I'm going to be installing and reviewing this one, which is the A-45. Okay, so to start off with, one thing I love about this mirror is its perfect rectangular shape, as opposed to some other mirrors which are angled on the sides. And this can be a problem if your existing rearview mirror is long, because it will overhang and it doesn't look good. As you can see for me personally on this car, a 2013 Alfa Romeo Giulietta, the mirror doesn't overhang at all. So it's going to look really good once it's installed. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Using a car DVR rearview mirror, like this one here, is 100 times better than using your car's factory rearview mirror. And for so many reasons. And just one of those reasons, which you won't be expecting me to say, is for the incredible night vision you will experience from using it. I'll show you what I mean later on when I do the nighttime test drive, but it's something you won't experience when using your factory rearview mirror. To power it up, you can either use the supplied cigarette lighter socket cable and just plug it into your vehicle's cigarette lighter socket, or you can hardwire it, which I would highly recommend, using this supplied power adapter cable, which they also refer to as the buckline cable, and that's very important to remember, as you're going to discover soon. It does also have a built-in battery as well, but it's only a very small battery, and it's used for time and settings memory. It can also power up and turn the mirror on and off as well, but only for a very short time period. And it's important to remember that the mirror is not designed to be used powered up off the internal battery by itself at all times, and if you do try it, it won't work. Like most of these car DVR rearview mirrors, this one also attaches to your existing rearview mirror using these supplied rubber straps. You just hook it over the loops like that, and the rubber straps ensure that it's held very firmly and secure to your car's existing rearview mirror like that. It is a touchscreen device, so there is only one button on it, which is located here at the bottom in the center there. And that button is to turn the device on and off if you need to manually. But of course, the majority of the time it turns on and off with the ignition of the car anyway. There is also another little button here on the back, just up the top there by the speaker, and that is the reset button. On the top side of the mirror, it's just the connection sockets. So for example, we've got this one here marked TF, which is for the memory card. And next to that, we've got AV in, which is where you plug the rear camera into. And this connector here marked Type C is for the power cable that you choose to use. This socket over here marked GPS is for an optional feature, which I will explain in a few moments. Believe it or not, this DVR mirror can actually support over 20 different languages as well. And my understanding is it can also be programmed by the manufacturer to support even more. As for the DVR recording, this works using loop recording, which means it will start continuously recording until the memory card is full, and then it will start rewriting over the previously recorded video footage. This product actually came with a 64GB SD memory card supplied, which should be good for approximately 1 month of recorded video footage, depending on how much driving you do. So a 32GB SD memory card would be about 2 weeks. Obviously, the bigger the better, but keep in mind that it only supports memory cards up to 128GB. Okay, so it's advertised to have a 12-inch IPS touchscreen. I have measured the mirror, and it measures approximately 270mm long by 70mm high. Yes, it's huge, but that's definitely not a bad thing. And for those of you who don't know what IPS means, it stands for in-plane switching. And to keep it simple, it's basically just another type of video technology that provides high quality color and contrast which is generally better than what you would get from LCD. IPS is also better used for wide-angle video as well, so it's a perfect technology to use for a device like this. The front camera here slides out from the side of the mirror like that, which it needs to for installation to your existing rearview mirror, of course. But it's also adjustable to a number of different angles as well, which is important as all cars' rearview mirrors are different. The best part about this front camera though is it's rated at 2K, which is 1440p, which is going to provide a very impressive and clear image. It also has a wide viewing angle of 170 degrees. The supplied rearview camera is rated at 1080p and is advertised to have a viewing angle of 140 degrees. Not as impressive as the front camera, no, but definitely still more than good enough. And of course, both front and rear cameras also support night vision. Parking monitoring, which is a security feature, is also supported by this mirror using its built-in G sensor. However, this is only supported when using the hardwired buckline interface. It won't work if powered up off the cigarette lighter socket. So as I said before, the buckline interface cable was important to remember, and that's why. If you don't know what a G sensor is, it stands for gravity sensor, also known as an accelerometer, and it's used to detect pressure and force. So being used in a device like this, it is able to detect something or someone hitting your car, and then the built-in DVR will start recording this for you. So when you return to your car, you will be able to play back the video footage to see what happened. And before you ask me in the comment section below, no, G-sensor recorded footage will not get recorded over when you start driving again, because G-sensor footage gets saved into a different directory on the memory card, which is not rewritable. Okay, now let's come back to this GPS socket here on the top of the mirror. There is also an optional GPS module that you can buy that plugs into here, and using that you can monitor and record your speed, location, and driving route history. Unfortunately, I did not receive the GPS module with this device, but if you want to, you can always purchase it at a later date, and this will cost you, I think, approximately $10 to $15, so it's also a very affordable upgrade to invest in. This mirror also has built-in Wi-Fi as well, so that means you can view the image that is on the mirror screen on your smartphone screen as well, using the app. This is a really cool and useful feature, and it's also a common feature that you will find built into a lot of dash cams these days as well, but not all of them. This feature can also be used to control the built-in DVR as well. Don't worry, I'll show you how all of this works later on in the test drive. Okay, I think I've covered all the important specs, so it's now time to start the installation. And normally you'd start with the mirror because it's the easiest thing to install, but I'm going to start with installing the rear view camera. And for those of you that ask me, is the rear view camera really important to use? Well, it will work without it, but in my opinion, yes, it's important. You won't be able to benefit from all the amazing features this device has without it, so I would very highly recommend installing the rear view camera. It is very important to have. Yes, it's a lot more work, and on a lot of cars, including my Alfa Romeo, sure, it's not the easiest job to do, but trust me, it will be worth the effort. Plus, it's fun installing more tech onto your car as well, right? Why are some of you shaking your head from side to side like that? That happens a lot in my installation videos. Strange. Okay, let's get into it. For my car, the rear bumper has to be removed so I can mount the rear view camera. I said it was going to be fun. I didn't say it was going to be easy. So, off comes the rear bumper again. Okay, and now with the rear bumper removed from the car, I've decided to mount the camera right in the middle here. It looks the best there. I'm also trying to mount another camera at the same time, this one here, for another project as well, and I'm not too sure where I'm going to put that at this stage. I was going to put it right next to it, but it doesn't look too good with two cameras mounted next to each other. So I'm going to see what I can do, and I'll show you the result in a few moments. Okay, and the camera for the DVR mirror is now mounted on the rear bumper, directly in the center there, nice and tight. It mounts to a bracket which they supply double-sided tape with, so I've used the tape as well, just so it doesn't damage the bumper, and it keeps it center, straight. And then I put a bolt through the center, as you can see, just the bolt, you can see the head of the bolt there. Turn it over so you can see it the other side. Just comes through there. That's basically just so people can't steal the camera. Some people will try that. And then I have to get the wires up through the number plate light hole to get back into the boot floor. So I've just had to file out a little piece here in the corner, just so the wire can go through there. Fits up there like that, so you're not going to see anything. And then as for the other camera, which has nothing to really do with this installation at all, I've just for now attached it to the license plate frame. I've just actually glued it on there. I don't actually really know if I like that at all, to be honest, but I tried everywhere else and there was just nowhere else that would look good. So for now, I'm just going to leave it there. So I'm now going to run the wires into the boot floor, put the bumper back on the car, and then I can start running the wiring looms to the front of the car. Alright, and the rear bumper is back on the car again, and both cameras are mounted. That bottom camera is going to have to come off again because I don't like it there, so I'm going to have to change that at a later date. But because that's not for this project, I can do that at any time. So now I've got the wires coming through the boot floor as well. So now I've just got to remove all the panels on the side of the car and get the wires to the front of the car. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so in running the rear camera cable from the rear of the car to the front of the car has resulted in a rather big problem. And it's a problem I definitely did not expect to have, which is the cable is not long enough. It ends here, and as you can see, the mirror is up over here. So it's quite a bit too short, which is disappointing. So I have tried looking for a extension cable, and I cannot find one anywhere. The plug, as you can see, needs to be right angled like this, and it's also a 2.5mm 4-pole plug. As you can see, there's 4 different connections on the plug, not 3. And it's impossible to find an extension cable like that will work. So I'm going to have to cut and extend this cable it comes with instead, which I didn't want to do, but I have no choice. So before I do that now, I think I will start with mounting the mirror first, so I know the exact length I need to make the cable. So that's what I'm going to do now. And if you are installing this product yourself, you might want to measure out the distance the cable has to travel first, or you could run into the same problem as me, which is no fun at all. Okay, the DVR mirror has been mounted to my rear view mirror. I have extended the rear camera cable as well, and I've run that with the power cable up and along the windscreen and back down to the control interface behind the dashboard. So we're now left with 3 wires to connect at the buckline cable. So this part is nice and easy. The yellow wire goes to 12 volts, the black wire goes to ground, and the red wire goes to switch 12 volts ignition. I'm going to be using my own fuses and wiring it up my own way, so I won't be using these fuses that they supply, so I'll be cutting them off. But of course, if you want to, you can just plug these into your car's fuse box to get power to the mirror, which will make the job easier, especially if you're not an auto electrician and know nothing about your car's electrical system or how it works at all. So with that being said, it's now time to wire it up. Okay guys, and the installation is now completely finished. It's all installed up behind the dashboard, so there's nothing to see. There is one more thing I need to explain to you, and to be able to do that, we need to go back to the rear of the car again. Okay, now back at the rear of the car again. So you can see this big cable here coming out, going along and up there. And you can see it's also got this red wire attached to it as well. That's actually built into the rear camera cable. And it's very important that we connect this wire. And you need to connect it to the reversing light. Because when you put the car into reverse, the mirror will switch to the rear cam so it can be used as a reversing camera, because that's what it is. Now, the camera is powered up all the time off the mirror anyway. So if you didn't connect this wire, it would still work, but every time you put it into reverse, it wouldn't switch to the rear camera for you. So it is important to connect that as well. So I'm going to do that now. Then I'm going to put the entire car back together again because it's still in a few pieces. And then it's ready for testing. Okay guys, and now with the installation fully complete, it's time to power it up for the first time. So I'm going to turn the ignition on. Sorry about the image quality, it's my camera inside's not so good. Okay, there's both my camera views. So we've got front camera and rear camera. Now before we start using this mirror, we need to format the memory card. So that's the first thing to do. So we'll go settings. There's going to be an option around here to format it. Yep, format SD. Format SD immediately. Yes. Oops, wrong one. Format SD. Format SD. Format succeeded. Perfect. And now the mirror is ready to use. So that's cool. Just go back to the home screen. Just test out one more thing. So if I put it into reverse, it should go to the rear camera straight away. Cool, which it does. Alright guys, now let's hit the road and do some further testing. Okay, so first of all, just because I've had people ask me this question before, yes, this is an actual mirror as well. So when the mirror is turned off, as it is at the moment, if you look in the mirror or wave your hand in front of the mirror, you will see yourself in the mirror. When the display is turned on, as it is now, you can still see yourself in the mirror, but it's just not as clear with the display on. Some people think because this is a digital mirror, it can't be used as a normal mirror at all. So as you have seen, that is not the case. It is and can be used as a normal mirror as well. Okay, so when you buy this mirror, it comes with this plastic protective film over it that you peel off, but I'm just going to leave it on there because it makes it easier to film, as the camera's too glary trying to film it as it is without it. So now if we go back into the settings of the mirror, pretty much all of these options you see here are just used to turn features on and off or make adjustments, such as to the language, volume, resolution, exposure, recording settings, time, date, Wi-Fi information, and it has rear view camera rotation as well. So I'm not going to go into any of that as I don't want to bore everyone. On the front of the mirror here, we have a snapshot button, a lock and unlock feature for locking and unlocking video footage. Next to that we have a microphone symbol, which is for turning the recording mode on and off. The button next to that with the two arrows on it is to just change between the camera views. So it goes to front view, rear view, or both views. Next to that we've got a brightness button to adjust the brightness, and the button next to that is the video playback button. And that, of course, next to that, come back. Next to that is your settings button. Some of the features of this mirror will need to be turned on first before you can use them, such as parking monitoring and the Wi-Fi, etc. Now, speaking of Wi-Fi, remember how I mentioned earlier on that when using this DVR cam mirror, you can also view the image from the mirror on your phone as well? Well, it's true, you can. However, this feature is only supported by the front cam, which of course is the camera built into the mirror itself. So you can have the front cam displayed on your smartphone at all times and then just swipe your finger across the mirror and have the rear cam on the mirror, or you can have both cams on the mirror and the front cam on the smartphone. It is also important to note that this feature does need to be turned on in the settings first before it will work. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, you can also control video playback using the app as well. However, for me personally, I found it very slow to do this over the Wi-Fi connection between the phone and the mirror, and I could not get a connection to be able to demonstrate that for you. Another really cool feature about this mirror is if you don't have the camera angle quite right, you can actually adjust it by just moving your finger up and down the screen, like this. And that doesn't only work for the rear camera, it also works for the front camera as well. How cool is that? And not only that, you can also adjust the angle of both cameras in split screen mode as well. So this is the rear camera, and this is the front camera. I'm now just going to go for a little bit of a drive, just so you guys can see the mirror working as you're driving along. You can switch between the different views. I'll leave the smartphone going as well so you can see how stable the image is on that. So let's go. Now I'm going to do one more demonstration of what happens when you put it into reverse. So there's a van behind me there which I want to back up to. So when you put it into reverse, at the moment it's on split screen mode. the whole screen will go to the reversing camera, and that makes it easier to see the car that you're reversing up to. Another advantage of having a DVR mirror, when you have a head-up display as well, is you can adjust the camera of the DVR mirror so your head-up display is also on the screen. That way, if you do get pulled over by the police for speeding, it's all recorded on camera. Now, in regards to the actual night vision quality of both the cameras, this is what the night vision of the front camera looks like. And it's not too bad at all. That's from the 2K camera. And this is what the night vision is like from the rear 1080p camera. And it's also really good, even if it doesn't look like that on my camera phone. But is this what I meant when I said earlier that you will experience amazing night vision from using this device? No, it's not. So let me demonstrate what I mean by that. Okay, so at the moment I'm parked on the side of a road, a dark road, with about 2 or 3 streetlights behind me. And as you can see, the view I get from the rear view camera on the DVR mirror is still easily viewable. I mean, I can still see exactly what is behind my car, and it's dark. Now let's turn the mirror off. Now if I zoom in a little bit closer, this is the view I get from the mirror now. So at the moment the DVR mirror is functioning no differently than the standard rear view mirror of the car. You can't see much behind me at all because it's basically pitch black. Now let's turn the mirror back on again. So as you can see, it seriously makes a huge and noticeable difference at night time. And that's what I mean when I say the night vision you will experience from this device will be amazing, because compared to a standard rear view mirror, it is amazing, irrespective of how dark it is. Okay, and now lastly, what about the parking monitor feature, and how does that work? Okay, so as already explained, the parking monitor feature is only supported if the device has been wired up using the buckline interface, which I have already done as you have seen. So with the parking monitor feature turned on, because by default it's turned off, now any impact to the vehicle, such as me slamming the door shut, should then trigger the DVR mirror to start recording what's happening. Now if I walk around the entire outside of the vehicle, just got the battery on charge at the moment, not only the front camera, but the rear camera should also pick up on this, and then when I go to play back the video footage, it should all be recorded on camera. So let's see what happens. Okay, and now if I play back the video footage, go into parking, play. And there you go, you can see me walking around the front of the car. And this here will be the rear camera footage. And there I am walking around the rear of the car. It's just playing over and over again, of course. So, the parking monitor feature works really great. And as you can see, it records from both the front and the rear cameras as well, which is even better. So how cool is that for the security of your car? Okay guys, so that's how this Yantop E-ACE 12-inch car DVR Rearview Mirror Dash Cam works. And I have to admit, I think it's probably one of the best car DVR Mirror Dash Cams that I've tested and used so far. Now just one more important thing in regards to the rear camera here. It's not uncommon these days for some cameras to be incompatible with certain devices. So if you purchase one of these devices, be sure to order the rear camera that it comes with as well. Due to the different chipsets being used by different camera manufacturers, the chance of any existing camera or other brand of camera you may already have working with this device is not hopeful from my experience. I have tried this in previous installs and I can guarantee you that not all cameras will work, so I'm guessing this device will have the same problem. The rear camera they supply, as you have seen though, is a pretty good camera, so it's definitely not something you would need to worry about. Now as for the cost of this device, at the time of this review, it cost me about $60 and the shipping was free. This is a lot of product for that price, and in my opinion is an absolute bargain. And for the very little extra cost of the plug-in GPS module, I would also recommend getting that as well. In fact, I will be investing in that myself, as I think it is definitely worth the investment for the extra features that you will get. Anyway guys, for those of you who are interested, I will put a link in the description below to where you can buy this from. I will also put a link for the GPS module as well. And that now brings us to the end of another video. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then please like, share and subscribe to the channel. where you can watch even more videos, which I upload every week. And I hope to see you all in the next video.